One of the nice things about PHP is that there's a ton of different frameworks built using the language, making it simple for you as a developer to choose which framework best suits your needs. On this channel, we've gone through a few tutorials on how to use Laravel and the Slim framework, but today we'll walk through how to send an SMS text message with another growing PHP framework, Symfony. Jim, my colleague and fellow developer advocate here at Vonage, already wrote a really thorough tutorial on how to send WhatsApp messages with Symfony, so make sure you check that out as well. We're going to slightly remix this tutorial so you can see how easy it is to interchange between messaging channels using Vonage's Messages API. All of the code and commands shown in this tutorial are in the GitHub repo linked in the description, so don't worry about copying everything down. Let's get started. First, you'll need a Vonage API account. If you don't have one already, you can sign up today and get your account up and running in minutes. Once you're in your account, you'll then need to create a new application. Go to Build, then Applications. Click Create New Application and give your application a name. Next, click Generate Public and Private Key. The private key will automatically download onto your machine. Under Capabilities, make sure to toggle on Messages. Next, click Generate New Application. This will generate the application ID. Copy your application ID and keep track of where your private key is located on your machine. We'll be using those soon. You'll also need a Vonage virtual number linked to your application. You can get a new number from the Phone Numbers tab under Build. If you're in the US, make sure you're following the additional instructions to ensure your number is 10DLC compliant. This is the number that your text will be sent from. With all this set up, we're now ready to code. Make sure to have PHP 8.1 or greater and Composer installed on your machine. You'll also want to install the Symfony CLI. This link is also in the description. With the Symfony CLI installed, we can now run Symfony local new my app to create a new project called my app. Then Composer requires the following packages. The first few are needed to set up proper routing in Symfony, and the last two install the Vonage PHP SDK and one of its dependencies. We'll also need to add our credentials to the project. In the .env.dev file, add your application ID that you copied from the Vonage dashboard. You'll also need the path of your private key that downloaded onto your machine, and lastly, your Vonage virtual number. To be able to use them in the codebase, we'll want to map them in the config/services.yaml file. Add the following parameters in the file so we can reference them in the code as the key shown here. Now we need to create a controller that will contain our get and post routes. Our get route will bring us to a form where we can fill in a phone number and text message. On send, the post route will be called, which will ultimately call Vonage's Messages API to send the text. Let's name our controller smscontroller.php. This will live in the source/controller folder. In this file, import the necessary packages. We'll talk about what some of these are used for soon. Then create a class called SMS controller and have it extend the abstract controller to make things easier. The first route we're going to create will have the endpoint of /SMS. In Symfony, we can also give our routes a specific name for internal reference. This one will be called app SMS form. Lastly, we'll need to define the HTTP method, which in this case will be get. This route will simply render a form in the browser. It specifically points to a twig form, which we'll create now. Let's create a file called form.html.twig in the template/SMS directory. If the templates folder doesn't exist, you can manually create one. As we've seen, the form has a simple to and message box. On send, it calls the app SMS send message post route, which we'll create in a minute. We can also pass the form some additional data, like if the message was sent, and if so, if it was sent successfully. Once you click send and the sent boolean is set to true in the post route, the if statement above the form will activate and show a success or error message. We're now ready to create our post route /SMS/send, or as we named it, app SMS send message. In the first few lines, we're simply getting the contents of the private key as well as the application ID to create a credentials object. This is the information Vonage needs to authenticate us. We use that to create a client object, which allows us to communicate with Vonage. In the next line, we're creating an SMS text object, supplying the to number from our form, the from number, which is a virtual number, and the message, which also comes from the form. Vonage messages send is the command that actually sends the message. If that's successful, then it will return a 200 status in an array containing the message UUID. If you get an error here, it's likely either that your credentials are incorrect or that your virtual number isn't registered properly. Finally, we'll render our form again with the updated sent and success statuses. Now let's start the server by running Symfony server start and watch it live. And there you have it. To learn more about the various ways you can use PHP with Vonage's APIs, subscribe to this YouTube channel, join our Slack community, and check out our blog at developer.vonage.com.